Hi, this is Ms. Cox, and today I want to show you how to use NewHive for research. And the big issue is, anytime you're using something for research and publishing something online, you have to cite your sources for where your information is coming from. So far, I have a quote that I found, and after the quote, I copied and pasted the URL. Now, it makes it look kind of messy and ugly because the URL is so long. So I'm going to show you some ways around that. First, you should make a section on your page that says sources. So I'm going to go ahead and make another header section and call it sources. I'm going to make it a little smaller and I'm going to move it. Oop, I don't want to move that. Move this guy kind of over here. Now, what I'm going to do is in the sources section, I will have to actually add individual sources. Now, you can't just click and drag. So let's say this is a source that I have. Some of the other websites, you can actually click and drag and bring your file over, but it won't work, unfortunately, with this. So what you're going to have to do is copy the URL, and then in the sources section, we're going to make a text area, and we'll go ahead and we're going to type in the title of this website. The title of this website is World Hunger. So World Hunger. And here where it says link, I'm going to paste in the URL. Now basically, I've got my first source in my list, and I can now add more. So I could actually use a little plus sign to duplicate. I could do a bunch of those. And then for each of my sources, I'm going to type in the title, and then where the link is, I'm going to paste in the link. And what will happen is when you're actually in the view mode and not in the editing mode, you'll be able to click on those links and actually go to the websites. So that is one way to cite your sources. Now, if you've done this and you already have a link built in for these sources for where they need to go. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It looks like it doesn't save unless you hit enter. So when you paste it in, make sure you hit enter so it'll save that source. Now, at this point, I don't actually need this long quotation, I'm sorry, not the long quotation, the long citation afterwards. Since I have down here the URL linked, instead of putting the whole URL up here after my quote, I'm just going to put the title of the website, World Hunger. Okay. Now, you should always have your period go after parentheses. So after the quote, you should wait until having your wait to have your period until after the parentheses. Now, I should be able to resize this, and voila. Now, here's the downside. Right now, this is not very colorful. One thing that you could do to make this a little cooler looking is actually have a screenshot of your images or of your websites. So if you wanted, you could actually take a screenshot of the website, add in a little image, and you could link that to the website as well. So there's many different ways to do this. But the key is, after quotes, you should have the title of the website, and then in a sources section, you should have the titles of the websites that you used listed, as well as a link to each of them. I will say, if a bunch of your websites have the same exact title, you should probably add another detail. So for example, this one, it's called World Hunger, and it's from Woodstock Sanctuary. So I might add in, if I found out here, if I found out that several websites had the same title, I might add in Woodstock Sanctuary. So I might do that. That way I know which one it is. And then up here I do the same thing. Woodstock Sanctuary. So that way I know for sure where that quote was going to. You could also link directly your quote to the website. So I could paste in that website, and this whole quote could actually be linked to the website. You have a lot of freedom here for how which things you want to link. You can link lots of different things, but you definitely want to have a sources section as well to list off all the places you researched, that your team researched. Lastly, if you add an image, for example, let's say you found a Creative Commons image on Flickr, like this one. you can't just click and drag it from this page. You have to go over here to the little dot 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 and go to download/all sizes. If you do that, you'll then be able to click and drag the image over. I'm going to wait for it to recognize the other tab, and it'll pop up in here. So that's a really easy way of getting your images in. I'm going to resize it. I need a link back to where it came from. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to copy the URL up here with copying. And over here, where the link is, I'm going to paste it and hit enter. And now the image is linked to where it came from. The last thing I need to do underneath is add in who created the image. And this image was created by The Factionist, Ethical Apparel. If I go over here to Profile, I can see that unfortunately there is no other name. So it doesn't say like a normal name, it's the organization's name. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in that whole organization's name under the image. So I'm going to put The Factionist Ethical Apparel. And let me move that. So I do that, and I could also put parentheses Flickr, so people know that it came from Flickr. Voila. So those are a couple techniques I recommend you use. You can also click and drag to select several things and move several things at once, which is also super handy. I hope your research projects are going well. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you.